I never thought I'd be the man telling this story. The kind that feels more like fiction than fact. You hear about betrayal from others, whispers over coffee, broken-hearted posts online, quiet murmurs at family dinners. But you never think it'll be your life. That the person you trust most in the world, the one you built your entire future around, would become the stranger who shatters it. Yet here I am, in a small apartment that smells of fresh paint, lost dreams and painful clarity, sharing how my wife, Lisa, cheated on me after 12 years of marriage. And how I didn't just leave. I dismantled the world she thought was invincible. Slowly. Precisely. Irrevocably. It was a Thursday. Not the kind of day anything big is supposed to happen. Just a regular, forgettable Thursday. I'd forgotten my phone at home and doubled back from work to grab it. The moment I stepped into the kitchen, the clock on the microwave blinked 2:17 p.m., and I heard her voice. Not her usual tone. No, this one was softer, laced with flirtation and warmth. The kind of voice she hadn't used with me in years. "God, you make me feel alive," she said. And in that instant, everything I thought I knew shattered. Her name was Lisa, but in that moment she became someone entirely unfamiliar. A cheating wife, a liar, a woman I no longer recognized. I didn't burst in. I didn't scream. I didn't slam doors. I just stood there, paralyzed, while she giggled on the phone, whispering to someone she called baby. She talked about how she couldn't wait for our next business trip, hers not mine, so they could have an entire weekend together again. I felt like I was underwater, heart pounding, breath shallow, mind racing, yet outwardly still. 6 minutes later, she hung up the call. Still unaware I had ever been home. That was all I needed to know. This wasn't a one-off mistake. This wasn't a lapse in judgment. This was an affair with depth. A pattern. A second life. And if she could lie to me like that while living under my roof, in the house I worked tirelessly to provide, then I couldn't just walk away in a storm of rage. No, I was going to take my time. That evening, I told her I had to fly to Denver the following week for a major client pitch. What I actually did was take 3 vacation days and set up base at my best friend Josh's guest house. Josh conveniently is a lawyer. Within 24 hours, I had a burner phone, a checklist of financial documents to secure, and a detailed understanding of how to handle infidelity without being the one who gets crushed. Every morning, I kissed her goodbye like nothing had changed. Every night, I made us dinner. And each evening, I watched her smile down at her phone, texting someone named Kay. It didn't take long to figure out that Kay was Kevin, a married man with children. Every time she laughed at a message, every time she asked if we should get a dog or redecorate the office, all I heard was the echo of that hallway moment. Asterisk, you make me feel alive. Asterisk. By day 3, I'd hired a private investigator. Within a week, I had photos, hotel receipts, text threads, surveillance of Lisa slipping out of work on sick days to meet Kevin at motels. I had enough evidence to make the devil himself blush. But I wasn't done. I knew Lisa's weaknesses. She didn't just love me, she loved her image, our home, her career, her spotless reputation among her brunch group and social circle. She curated her life like an Instagram grid. Perfect lighting, perfect smiles, perfect lies. So I didn't fight her with fury. I went after what she truly valued. I quietly froze our joint accounts, after securing my rightful half. Changed all the passwords. Backed up our phone data. Made 2 USB drives with everything I might need in court. And then I planted seeds. Harmless comments to friends like, "Lisa's been distant lately. You ever get the feeling someone's hiding something?" Nothing accusatory, just enough to stir curiosity. Because betrayal, when handled right, doesn't need a storm. It thrives in whispers. Then came the reveal. We were hosting brunch. Her parents were in town. Lisa wore her favorite yellow dress, the one she always saved for moments she wanted the world to admire her. She glowed with confidence, unaware that her kingdom was seconds from collapse. I stood up mid-meal and looked her dead in the eye. "Kevin sends his regards." Her expression cracked like glass. Pale, confused, silent. I pulled a thick envelope from my jacket and placed it gently on the table. Inside, every receipt, every photo, every text, Undeniable proof of betrayal. Lisa didn't speak. Didn't move. She just stared. And for the first time, the woman who always had something to say, had nothing. I thanked her parents for the meal, pushed in my chair, and walked out of the house we once called home. That was the last time I ever stepped through that door. But the aftershocks? Oh, they were glorious. Lisa's world unraveled in slow motion. Kevin's wife, who I had also sent a full copy of the evidence to, shared it with their church group. Lisa's office discovered she'd been skipping work to have affairs. HR placed her on immediate probation. Her pristine social image? Gone. Her friends? Silent. Her sister? Furious. The life she curated down to the last detail imploded, and I didn't lift a finger beyond revealing the truth. A week later, I got a message. Asterisk, can we talk? Asterisk. I agreed. We met at a quiet park. She cried. Said it was a mistake. That she still loved me. That Kevin meant nothing. I let her speak. Let her pour out all the regrets, the apologies, the manipulations. And when she was done, I reached into my folder and handed her the finalized divorce papers. You once told me I'd never find out, I said. But I did. And now, I'm free. She stared at the pages, eyes wide, tears falling, mouth slightly open. That's when it hit her. The man she thought was too soft, too naive to notice, had been 10 steps ahead the entire time. This isn't a story about heartbreak. This is a story about resurrection. I didn't just survive. I reinvented myself. She tore us apart with betrayal, but I walked away with truth, dignity, and peace. Because sometimes the most powerful revenge isn't rage. It's freedom.